Hello, dear Homepedia family. My dear friend, have you ever stepped into a small home and felt something shift inside you? A quiet sense of peace, as if the walls themselves were wrapping you in a gentle, sun-warmed embrace? Or perhaps you've looked around your own cozy apartment or cottage and wondered why it sometimes feels more like a beautiful cage than the sanctuary you long for. If that thought has ever crossed your heart, you are not alone. In this season of life, when we crave calm more than ever, modern small spaces can sometimes feel cold and confining, all clean lines and empty minimalism that leave the soul hungry for something deeper. But what if we told you that the answer isn't more square footage? What if true luxury has never been about size at all, but about depth, character, and the quiet poetry of a home that tells a story? Today we want to share something very special with you: how to transform even the smallest space into a soulful Mediterranean-style retreat that feels like a private sanctuary, rich with heritage, warmth, and endless charm. We'll explore the 5 pillars of heritage Mediterranean design perfectly suited for small homes, practical changes you can make this very weekend with nothing more than your own 2 hands, and one forgotten night garden trick that costs almost nothing yet works pure magic after the sun goes down. Stay with us until the very end. The promise of turning your small space from something that sometimes feels like a prison into a place your heart truly belongs. We'll close with a secret that could change the way you feel in your home every single evening. Let's begin. Let's talk first about why so many modern small spaces leave us feeling restless instead of at peace. In recent years, the trend toward stark minimalism and all-white everything has quietly turned many cozy apartments and cottages into places that feel more like showrooms than homes. There's no story in those empty walls, no warmth in the cold floors, no invitation to linger. The eye has nowhere to rest. The heart has nowhere to land. We end up with spaces that are technically efficient but emotionally hollow. And for women of our generation, who have lived full lives and now long for homes that nurture the spirit, that emptiness can feel surprisingly lonely. Heritage Mediterranean design offers the beautiful opposite. It doesn't fight small spaces, it celebrates them. It wraps them in layers of warmth, texture, and light until they feel expansive, alive, and deeply personal. This style isn't about copying a villa in Tuscany or a whitewashed house on a Greek island. It's about capturing the feeling, the golden light, the scent of rosemary and lemon, the soft sound of water, the quiet dignity of things that have been loved for generations. And the wonderful news is that every single principle works beautifully in apartments, cottages, and even studio spaces. Let's walk through the 5 pillars of heritage Mediterranean design for small spaces together. Principles we've seen bring genuine transformation to the homes of women just like you. The first pillar is the warm, earthy color story. Forget the cold grays and sterile whites that dominate modern design. Instead, think soft ochre, warm terracotta, creamy limestone, and the gentlest sage greens. These colors don't shrink a room, they breathe life into it. A single lime-washed wall in soft ivory or pale terracotta can make a small living room feel like it's glowing from within, especially when the afternoon light hits it. You don't need to paint everything. Even one accent wall, or the area around a window, can shift the entire mood of your space from flat to soulful. The second pillar is texture that tells a story. In heritage Mediterranean homes, nothing is perfectly smooth or brand new. You'll find rough-hewn wooden beams, hand-thrown terracotta tiles, linen curtains that soften with age, and stone or plaster that shows the gentle marks of time. In a small space, these textures do something magical. They add visual depth so the eye travels and the room feels larger. A simple jute rug layered over a sisal one, a chunky knit throw in natural wool, or a collection of well-loved ceramic bowls on open shelves. Each one adds quiet richness without crowding the room. The key is to let the textures speak for themselves rather than filling every surface. The third pillar is the courtyard principle. Even when you don't have a courtyard, Mediterranean homes are famous for their indoor-outdoor flow. But that same feeling can be created in the tiniest apartment. It's about creating visual connections to the outside world and giving your eye places to escape. Position a comfortable chair so it faces a window with a view of sky or greenery. Hang a small mirror opposite that window to bounce light and double the sense of space. Bring in 1 or 2 large potted plants, olive, lavender, or citrus, and place them where they can be seen from your main seating area. Suddenly, your small room feels connected to something bigger than its 4 walls. The fourth pillar is sensory layers that calm the nervous system. Mediterranean living is never just visual, it engages every sense. Soft, diffused lighting from linen lampshades or paper lanterns, the gentle scent of dried lavender or rosemary tucked into bowls, the faint sound of wind chimes or a small tabletop fountain. These layers turn a small space from something you simply live in into something you feel held by. And this brings us to the fifth pillar, which we'll explore in beautiful detail in just a moment. Before we get to that special fifth pillar, let's talk about the practical changes you can make this very weekend. No contractors, no paintbrushes if you don't want them, and certainly no big budget required. These are the gentle shifts that create immediate warmth and charm. Start with your textiles. Swap heavy winter curtains for light, airy linen or cotton in warm neutrals. Even inexpensive ready-made panels can transform a room when they're allowed to puddle softly on the floor. Next, look at your lighting. Replace any harsh overhead bulbs with warm LED Edison-style bulbs in simple ceramic or woven lamps. Add a string of warm fairy lights along a shelf or behind a plant. They create that magical golden hour glow Mediterranean homes are famous for. Then bring in living elements. A single olive tree in a terracotta pot, a few rosemary or lavender plants on a windowsill, or even a small herb garden in the kitchen. These instantly connect your space to the Mediterranean spirit. Arrange them in odd numbers and vary the heights for natural charm. Move one piece of furniture, perhaps your favorite reading chair, so it faces a window or a beautiful object rather than a blank wall. Small gestures like this change how you experience the room every single day. Finally, edit with love rather than minimalism. Keep the objects that have meaning. A grandmother's ceramic bowl, a favorite book with a beautiful cover, a small collection of seashells or stones from travels. Group them thoughtfully on a tray or shelf. The goal is not emptiness but a quiet, collected beauty that feels personal and peaceful. And now, the part we love sharing most, the fifth pillar and the forgotten night garden trick that costs almost nothing yet delivers pure enchantment. The fifth pillar is the art of the collected story. In heritage Mediterranean homes, every room feels like it has been gathered over time with love. Nothing matches perfectly, yet everything belongs together. In a small space, this is especially powerful because it creates layers of interest that make the room feel larger and more alive. Choose pieces that speak to you. A vintage wooden chair with beautiful patina, a hand-woven basket, a small oil painting of a landscape, or even framed family photos in simple wooden frames. Let these objects breathe. Give them space rather than crowding them. The result is a room that feels like a gentle embrace rather than a showroom. Now for the night garden. This is the secret that makes small spaces feel truly magical after dark. And it works whether you have a balcony, a tiny patio, or simply a window. Here's how it works. As evening falls, gather your potted plants and arrange them near the window or glass door where you can see them from your main seating area. Add warm, soft lighting. Fairy lights wound gently through the branches, a few lanterns with battery candles, or even a string of warm bulbs along the windowsill. Place a small bowl of citrus peels or rosemary nearby so the scent drifts in when the window is open. If you have a small water feature or wind chimes, let their soft sounds carry inside. The effect is breathtaking. From inside your cozy room, you look out and see what appears to be a private starlit courtyard garden, glowing, fragrant, and alive. It creates the illusion of depth and connection to nature that Mediterranean homes are famous for. Yet it costs almost nothing and takes only minutes to create each evening. These 5 pillars, warm earthy colors, storytelling textures, the courtyard principle, sensory layers, and collected heritage pieces, work together to turn any small space into a sanctuary. They don't require knocking down walls or spending a fortune. They simply ask you to slow down, notice what brings you comfort, and layer in the quiet beauty of the Mediterranean spirit one thoughtful choice at a time. The question of why some small spaces feel like prisons while others feel like sanctuaries? You now hold the answer in your hands. It was never about having more square footage. It was always about choosing depth over emptiness, character over trends, and atmosphere over perfection. By embracing the 5 pillars of heritage Mediterranean design and adding that simple night garden ritual each evening, we can transform our homes into places that feel like a warm hug at the end of every day. My dear friend, you deserve a home that reflects the beauty and wisdom you've gathered over a lifetime. A home that feels peaceful, personal, and deeply yours. Whether you live in a tiny apartment overlooking a city street or a charming cottage with a small garden, these gentle principles will help you create endless charm and quiet luxury right where you are. If this video inspired you, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more beautiful home design ideas, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Tell us which pillar you're most excited to try first, or share a photo of your own small sanctuary in the making. It truly makes our hearts happy to connect with you. Thank you for spending this time with us. May your home always feel like the peaceful, soulful retreat you deserve. Until next time, take gentle care of yourself and the beautiful spaces you call home.